Hi, we are Community Food, and we are going to walk you through our business model for how we are going to help the food insecurity issue that many communities and their members deal with.
This is a mature mass market with some segmentation based on local needs, environments, and cultures. Within the country, 12.7% of the households are food insecure. This translates to about 42.2 million people living in food insecure households, of which million are children. 10.9 million adults lived in households with very low food security. Our project will start in Minneapolis, Minnesota. According to new research from the University of Minneapolis, they cite that food insecurity is 38.9% of households in Minnesota. This is more than 1.5 million people. Our total available market and total served available market are the same. There are no food insecurity that should be excluded. Our market, in the end, is everyone that is food insecure. We will start within 25% of the community in the first year. We will post these at grocery stores, retailers, gas stations, and government buildings. We believe that this will have a large impact in terms of raising awareness to community members to find those in need or can volunteer to help. We will also reach out personally to municipalities, master gardeners, and agriculture students for our volunteers and coordinate resources. Talking with people in the community, master gardeners, the food insecure, and municipal employees all validated the need for this program, and happily, we learned that many people see the value and would volunteer and would use it. Minneapolis has a strong master gardener program with many volunteers and volunteers hours. Some feedback helped us to define where we would plant various trees or vines, and we had positive feedback on shifting resources in the municipalities. Our key resources are human. Donation comes from people. Time comes from people. Thanks to these, our physical resources will be available to impact the food insecure. Municipalities will plant fruit trees instead of pines or other trees when they are replacing trees along streets, in parks, and in public spaces. They will continue to use their employees for maintenance in the same way they always have. Will continue to water and fertilize as they always have. Community food will bring in additional trees, shrubs, and vines, increasing the amount of plantings and thereby the amount of will continue to water and fertilize as they always have. Community food will bring in additional trees, shrubs, and vines, increasing the amount of plantings and thereby the amount of fresh fruit that will be available in each community. It will also bring in the volunteers to help within the planting and extra maintenance, keeping the trees healthy and viable. Keeping information on success and measures on our website will help to keep people involved and motivated and will showing appreciation for our volunteers and donors. As you can see in our initial BMC, we had only considered donation as a revenue source, while our cost captured most of our expected cost. We did have some as we went through each step of the BMC. We also looked primarily at established companies as partners. We had limited scope in our customer relations and hadn't captured metrics and matter well. This is our final BMC. As you can see, we broadening our revenue sources and our customer segments are better developed. Key pivots include tracking the impact of volunteers and donation on food insecurity, signing off on certificate hours for master gardeners, letters of recommendation for agriculture students, broadening to include community gardens, developing logistical organization for coordinated volunteers, plant delivery, other organization and time, holding fundraising event and writing grants, identifying how goals support partners, and increasing the usefulness of our program by also canning and preserving fruit, jams, and preserves.
Information insight from early evangelists and experts. One of the insights we got from experts was a strategic partnership, specifically to food banks. They felt that we need to have a real strong partnership with them since they could be helping us a lot through supplying the things that we need using their ways of distribution and etc. As well, one of the things we got from our early evangelist insight was to create a vest to volunteers and members to create a sense of awareness and identity for our organization. This will express a solidarity as well. It will be a good campaign and marketing solution because they felt that if they saw somebody working on the plant or the tree or the vine or the bushes with this vest, they will relate and will know who we are and to what organization this volunteer belongs to. Therefore, this was the biggest insights and information we got from experts and early evangelists. After analyzing our get, keep, grown strategy and channel dynamics, we figure out that the best way to get them is through online campaigns, especially for Facebook, Instagram. Therefore, after that, we will switch towards a more new way of helping getting our products and our vest promoted on Etsy, which are a way website to promote eco-friendly products or good campaigns. As well, we will market and get the people through sustainable websites, blogs, and forums. This will lead us to the right place where these people hang out that are willing to help and do like our cause. We will keep them by helping them developing a ownership, a feeling of ownership of our organization. Once they feel they are part of it, we will keep based on research of other organizations. The best way to keep volunteers and people working is by doing little things just as creating a vest, asking them for feedback, having a daily communication through email or a daily mail will keep our volunteers in the right path. Growth will happen through the partnership with schools, partnership with other organizations, and mostly government programs. The channel dynamics will be a conventional where the supplier will go over the organization to the volunteer, and volunteer through the efforts will consume to a benefit sector. One of the things we got, so many feedback we got from advisors, but the biggest thing are here listed below. They tell us to associate with schools related to the field for them to give us students where they could do their internship or their volunteer programs or gain experience out there with non-profit organizations towards agricultural models. There is a big space for those people right now that are looking for something like this, but it does not exist a friendly way to connect the student to the organization. Another thing that we got feedback from our advisors is keep researching on food security. All the data we found is data established by government, but not from outsourced resources. So why not keep investigating where we can put our distributed centers and warehouse around the area in the future, but now based on government data, we will place them on their way. As well, to create trends for our campaigns, to recognize related trends to our cause and connecting them to our campaign. The business environment looks very productive, very open, with a high percentage of food insecurity in North America. The problem is there, we have the solution. The people is there. Now we live in the times where these kind of societies, non-profit organization, and eco-friendly and sustainable ways are in the top of the list of consumers, business, helpers, volunteers, organizations, etc. We want to sell and as well spread our proposal, asking you, in this case, to plant trees across America to give those who most need it and can't afford a very here in our mark type and relevant research on the market. We can see a lot of data that was very essential for us to find.
I've looked at some of the numbers behind why food insecurity is such an issue. We want to talk about our value proposition, and that is that we would allow communities throughout the world to plant, based on the needs of their community, to plant fruit and vegetables to kind of take on that food insecurity issue and allow people to get additional food that would help them get nutrients and calories that they need. The way we do this is try to strategically plant and harvest so that we're yielding the most amount of fruit throughout the entire year, which would mean early in the season planting the ones that will harvest early and so on. Some of the things that this jobs would consist of would be to find land, helping raise money by talking and negotiating with municipalities for grants or other benefits, planting the fruits and vegetables, watering the land, and then really fertilizing it and maintaining it, harvesting it, and maybe canning it or making jams out of what is left over so that we take advantage of all of the fruit. And the products that we have discussed to begin with were vegetables in plots, as you can see here on the left, different vines, fruits that grow on vines such as kiwis or grapes, and then trees such as apples, pears, or plums. Our customer segmentation are these people who are not getting enough to eat. We typically think of these people who are scraping to get by. They maybe are getting their food from the gas station or getting their food from value menus at a cheap fast food restaurant. They are probably getting some food, but they're not getting those nutrients that are sustainable, those things that keep them healthy. As you can see here, this is a picture of one of those people in our target market who suffer from food insecurity. They are struggling to make ends meet and need additional help. Some of the metrics that matter, obviously revenue and costs are two of the biggest metrics that we look at right away. And through our projections and research, we've determined that through grants and other donations and fundraising, we would definitely get enough money to sustain this project, to begin it in a community and sustain it. Some of the costs that would come with that, though, as we discussed, with the jobs to be done, would be purchasing plants, maintaining our website to help get the word out, coordinating staff or other people who are going to be helping carry out operations, or looking at the finances of our business and of each community, and then advertising, letting people know about it, and maintaining those fruits and trees. Some of the other metrics that we talked about were what number of communities were being reached, how many people were actually being impacted by what we're doing, and what effect it is that this is having on solving the food insecurity crisis. Those are three pictures there to show what I had just discussed. So in the end, to sum it up, food insecurity is a real issue. We showed you some of the numbers, showed you our target market, and the reason this is a real concern to us. And we believe that community food provides a real solution to communities. It's not a blanket solution for everybody, but it allows each community to adapt and serve based on its, and that it is truly financially viable. The revenue would exceed the costs, and through these other metrics that we discussed, it would make a real impact and influence on the world, and that's what we're trying to do. So thank you for watching.